we are on Bush Highway, and we're going to be taking this highway to Saguaro Lake and Stewart Mountain Dam. This is a relatively shorter highway compared to the ones that I usually do videos about, but it is an absolutely gorgeous drive. I'm going to take you guys along for the ride. Within moments of jumping on Bush Highway, I happened to glance over at the river just at the right time. I noticed something very peculiar in the water. My curiosity got the best of me, so I had to pull over, get my drone out, and go in for a closer look. Here's what I saw. This was such a spectacular sight to behold, and I've been waiting for an opportunity like this for a long time. I've seen wild horses along the Salt River many times since I've lived in Arizona, but I've never had my professional camera or my drone with me at the time. Now, I did keep a respectable distance with my drone, and I later found out that there is as many as 300 wild horses roaming around this area. Next time I come out to the Salt River, I just might have to grab a kayak and see if I can get some better shots from the river. Bush Highway is one of the best scenic drives in Arizona, and you don't have to wander too far out of the city to get there. Let me show you. Bush Highway is only 15 miles long and starts right here, just outside of Mesa, Arizona, and ends at Beeline Highway, also called Highway 87. Another fascinating feature not that far off of Bush Highway is the confluence of the Salt and Verde River. It's a popular recreation area where people go swimming, tubing, kayaking, you name it. Both rivers flow nearly 200 miles and meet up at this location. Now, I could have paid for a pass and parked a lot closer, but just like Kevin McAllister's uncle, I can be a cheapskate at times, and I didn't want to pay for a parking pass.
Come on, Mr. Cheapskate.
Therefore, I pulled over on the side of the road and got my drone up in the air. Just downstream from the confluence, I found the remnants of an old dam from the early 1900s. I've seen a few pictures of it on Google in the past and decided to fly in for a closer look. According to waterhistory.org, this was an old diversion dam that was later washed away by a major flood in 1905. Now, this eventually led to the construction of what is now Granite Reef Dam further downstream. And I would have loved to get some aerial shots of Granite Reef Dam, but unfortunately it was fairly windy out that day and too many power lines in the area for my liking. Construction was completed in May of 1908, and the dam stands at 29 feet high and is 1,000 feet in length. Before I jumped back in my car and continued down the highway, I spotted something moving in the water not too far from the old dam, and wouldn't you know it, I found another herd of horses frolicking in the water. Of all the times I came out here looking to get photos of the horses and turning up empty handed, and then on a random day I decided to make a video, I spot two small herds. I was pretty ecstatic. Seeing these majestic creatures out in the wild without a care in the world, it was pretty surreal. Construction on the highway began on March 21st, 1933, and was later opened to the public in 1934. I was able to find some old photos of Bush Highway during its construction from the website azmemory.azlibrary.gov, and I'll link that one down in the description. But I couldn't pinpoint the exact location from where these photos were taken, which doesn't surprise me. I'm sure the land has gone through drastic changes over the last 100 years. But I did find one photo that stuck out amongst the rest. Pay close attention to the hump on the rock that you see right here, and you'll notice it's the same hump that you see in this photo. The dam you're seeing is called Stewart Mountain Dam. It was built between 1928 and 1930. This nearly 100-year-old dam stands at 212 feet high and is 583 feet long. It impounds the Salt River, creating the beautiful Saguaro Lake, and can hold up to 70,000 acre-feet of water. 1 acre-foot is equivalent to one football field, 1 foot deep. There's a thing you know. The footage that you're seeing of the water flowing through the dam was filmed in the spring of 2023. That was a very wet year for Arizona and the entire Southwest, so they had to keep releasing water to make room for more snowmelt that was on its way. Saguaro Lake is one of my favorite places to travel to, whether it's hanging out with friends, flying a drone, or taking in those gorgeous mountain views. There's also plenty of cacti in the area, so if you're from out of town and are looking for a place to get some cactus photos, this would be it. Fun facts: according to NPS.gov, the saguaro cactus is the largest cactus in the United States. It can take up to 10 years for a saguaro cactus to reach 1 inch in height, but by 200 years of age, the cactus reaches full height, reaching upwards of 45 feet tall. They also don't start producing their first arms till around 100 years of age, when they're in the neighborhood of 15 to 16 feet tall. The largest ever recorded saguaro cactus stood at a whopping 78 feet tall. Since I was right there, I decided to see how close I could get to the dam. I always knew there was a road that went back in that direction, so this time around I followed it. But unfortunately, this was as far as we could go. After I left Bush Highway, I headed down Highway 87 and made the turnoff to Four Peaks. This dirt road is usually a washboard and at times can be very unpredictable, especially after it rains. I haven't been down this road in a minute, had some time to kill, and I was eager to see how it's looking these days. I also thought it would be really cool to get some drone shots of my car heading in the direction of Four Peaks. It was getting to be that time of day where I would typically start to wind things down, but I had a little bit of daylight left, and seeing as how water has been a recurring theme in this video, I decided to head into Phoenix to check out a waterworks display. Arizona Falls is a hydroelectric plant that supplies power to 150 homes in the area, but it's so much more than that and has a lot of historical value. Arizona Falls is located northeast of Phoenix, Arizona. It's super easy to get to, and if you live in the area and you have never been there, I would recommend checking it out. It's a neat little tourist attraction that I believe is enjoyable to all ages. Unless, of course, you have a nagging mother in law that wants to go back to her hotel room where she can day drink and watch Ellen. What do you do? Arizona Falls dates all the way back to the early 1900s. It started off as a canal that approached a natural 20-foot drop, creating a waterfall. It was a popular place for people to picnic, sunbathe, swim, and enjoy being outside with a nearby place to cool off. The first electrical plant was built here in 1902, and at that time it provided power to the residents of Phoenix. But fast forward a decade later when Roosevelt Dam was built, it was decided that Roosevelt Dam would now supply power to Phoenix, and the electrical plant here would only supply power to farmers in the immediate area. Between the years of its construction and 1915, the plant saw many different renovations, contractors, and a variety of different changes. For the longest time, operations at the plant seemed to be going okay, but as time went on, its operations didn't. The plant had shut down in October of 1950, mainly because it had become too expensive to maintain and it was in desperate need of multiple repairs. Although no power was being generated over the next 50 years, water still flowed through the plant, and this once popular community attraction was now a fly on the wall. It wasn't until 1998 when the Phoenix Arts Commission proposed an idea to turn it into a park, and SRP decided to rebuild the power station. This was budgeted at a cost of $4 million and the largest SRP renewable energy plant in the valley at that time. 5 years later, and a new makeover, the power plant went back online in April of 2003. Let me know if you have ever been to Arizona Falls, and make sure you click on the playlist in the upper left hand corner to see more scenic and scary roads in Arizona.